I've always wanted to sit beach view in Bournemouth with a Premier League footballer about to share fish and chips. Yeah. This is the dream come true for me.
Absolutely, yeah. For myself also, it doesn't get better than this. So,
what's Eddie Howe going to say when he finds out you've had a plate full of chips?
Yeah, to be honest, we had a good session today, so I think I deserve it after the work we put in.
There's a fascinating symmetry between you and Bournemouth, because when you were at Portsmouth over 10 years ago, you came here on loan, and then Eddie Howe had just retired.
Yeah.
So he was a reserves coach under Kevin Bond. Do you remember what he was like?
I've known Eddie for a long time. Even when I first came to England at Portsmouth, he was here. He was there actually at the time as a player. Then obviously when I came here on loan, he was here as well. So we've kind of followed each other for many years.
But he was a defender. If you'd have come a year earlier, you could have barked at him.
I know.
You ever think about that?
I know. I did bark at him once. My first ever reserve game in England for Pompey was with Eddie. He was just coming back from an injury, and I barked at him then. He probably doesn't remember, but I remember it clearly, obviously.
Your life is fascinating. Your father was a goalkeeper himself. Leotar in the Yugoslavian League.
Right.
So is it fair to say your footballing hero is in the family?
Yeah, I think obviously my first hero would be my father. It was natural for me to follow in his footsteps. You know, from the age of 4 or 5, I didn't want to do anything else. It was no questions asked. I became a goalkeeper, and we moved to Germany because of the war. He played obviously semi-professional levels in Germany, and all I would do is follow him. I was on the bus with the team. I was like a little mascot, you know. Even though they said no kids allowed, you couldn't get rid of me. So I used to before matches like clean his boots and polish his boots and everything, and I was just there. I was like, I'm coming, whether you like it or not. And then that was the same attitude for the other players and everyone. I was like, oh, listen, I'm going to sit here. And then I didn't even have a seat on the bus. I was sitting on like the steps, you know, where the toilets are.
Right.
So I was sitting there. Yeah. I eventually made my way forward to the front of the bus, but I was sitting on the stairs there. But
you drove the bus eventually.
Yeah, 8-year-old driving the bus, but I was just wanted to be part of it. I was football mad.
So how hard did he coach you then?
Even if it wasn't on the field, you know, take me running in the forest, take me running in the snow in Canada, and there was some tough times. But I think I wouldn't change that for the world, because when I did come to an environment or a place where I needed to perform, whether that was regional teams, select teams, national teams at that young age, then I was able to do my job, perform, and outperform everyone else.
It's incredible really when you look at your life. The fact that you are a refugee makes it more inspiring. You leave war-torn Yugoslavia when you're 4, you live in Germany till you're 10,
right.
You move to Canada, now you're on the south coast of England.
That's right.
All of that in perspective now, and you think back, how did people treat you and your parents when you moved around?
Listen, I think life has been difficult for myself, my parents. Nothing is, you know, as the saying goes, everything's been earned, nothing's been given. You know, we were lucky that when times became tough in Bosnia, that we were given an opportunity to go to Germany. But you are a refugee, you know, you don't get anything given. You know, my parents working in factories and working 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet and give myself and my brothers the best possible platform. It was difficult, and you know, even then, because of certain government rule changes and laws being changed, you get moved from Germany to Canada once again, and you're a refugee another time. And that was obviously more difficult, because I remember those times. I was 10, 11 years old, and obviously those are still fresh in my memory. And again, you have to earn your way up. And my mother retrained herself, restudies to be a nurse, and my father also did work a couple jobs, you know. So, you know, we were lucky that our parents had a great work ethic, and I think that work ethic transferred to myself. And I said I wouldn't change that sort of a background for anything, really. We tried a couple different other places, Sweden, Turkey, wasn't available, but obviously we just packed up a car. I had a baby brother at the time, packed up the car with as much as we could, and off we went.
So tens of thousands of people lose their lives, there's huge displacement, but some of your family members actually remained in Bosnia.
Yeah.
Did they ever, who stayed, and did they ever tell you what it was like to be there first?
Yeah, I mean, that was difficult for the whole family, because we split off. Obviously my family and I went to Germany, a couple other family members went to Germany, some others went to Holland and Norway. And yeah, one of my aunts and my 2 cousins stayed throughout the whole war. They stayed due to circumstances, and thankfully they survived. You know, it was obviously some close calls, and you see bullets flying everywhere, or people shooting each other over the hills, and you know, it's obviously not a pretty picture.
So that stop in Canada, did sports then become your sanctuary almost?
Well, sports is, I mean, I was born a sports nut. Even when I was growing up in Germany, I was playing tennis, table tennis, volleyball, different sports other than football. And
hockey?
Yeah, I
come
mean,
close?
ice hockey without question. You know, I was at a couple of teammates who were playing soccer with me at the time, and said, "Oh, you should come and try ice hockey and give it a go." And my parents said, "No way, like
Really?
no way," and it was too physical. And I had friends that, you know, early teenage years having concussions, multiple concussions, and it's a tough sport. It's not for everyone. You know, I played it for fun. We got to play pickup hockey on the local rinks for sure, and played some shinny out on the lakes. But
Shinny?
yeah.
What's
but
shinny?
It's just pickup games out on
Right.
open water, so frozen lakes, and put 2 goals out there, and they call it shinny. So.
Were you a goaltender, or given your position now?
Yeah, I mean, I put the pads on from time to time, and I played a bit of goal. I actually prefer to be a defenseman, to be honest.
Going to make a smooth segue as we're talking about Canada. I'm just trying to clarify facts.
Yeah.
Are you a Justin Bieber fan?
Do you know what? I don't mind Justin Bieber. I'm not afraid to admit it. I mean, I went to see him at a gig, had a picture taken with him. I watched his movie, Is It Belieber or something. He made a documentary on his travels, and I am a fan. I'm not a huge diehard believer, but I don't mind him at all.
Did he have any words? Love your work, Asmir. You know.
No, I don't know if he knew who I was, to be honest. No, I don't know, but nothing. It was short and sweet, just a picture, and that was it, really.
You know, I typed believer and I was doing the questions into the Word document, and it doesn't auto-correct you. That's a word now. So you represent Canada at junior level a couple of times.
That's right.
You're on the bench for senior qualifiers, but you don't get on, which is important in the grand scheme of things because you choose Bosnia.
Yeah.
Take me back to that first day you made your first cap for Bosnia. How did you feel? Where were you? Did you have people around you?
Yeah, take you back. I mean, obviously, like you said, I grew up in Canada. You know, from the age of 10 to 16, I played for the youth national teams all the way throughout, under 15s to under 20s. Yeah, I was never capped. Obviously, I was committed to Canada, never capped. I knew in the back of my mind that Bosnia was always a possibility, but you never know if that call is ever going to come or not. And you know, obviously, when that call came, I was eligible to make the switch, and that's what I did. I always thought it was the best footballing decision. In terms of possibilities, I thought it was the best decision for my family, to represent my family and everyone that was born. I was born in Bosnia, everyone that was there, and have them be at my games and everything else. So from a family point, I think it was the right decision, and so that I feel like it was the right decision all around. And my first call-up came from our coach, Ciro Blažević, the famous Croatian coach who took the Croatian team to 3rd place in '98. And you know, he called me up, and our first game was in Armenia away, and then Turkey at home. And you know, I was just breaking a little bit into the Portsmouth team, and played a couple of games, and I was maybe going there expecting to play, and you know, I didn't play. He played a lad in front of me who was actually unattached, didn't have a club, so that was a bit surprising. But at the same time, I think it was just a different experience. Maybe it was better that I was kind of transitioned in a little bit slower, because it's a different culture, different way of working. It's a free-for-all, you know. It wasn't the same regulations here as here in England, and it was definitely a culture shock from that point of view.
Is it true your grandma can't watch live games?
Yeah, all the women in my family, my grandma, my mum, my aunts, my mother-in-law, everyone, they don't like watching football games live, but they do
have you involved, right?
Yeah, it's just they have to take, you know, calming tablets and stuff, you know, so they're not huge fans of watching them live. They'll watch it on TV. They will come to some live games. My grandmother's obviously 85 now, so she's best away from there. But yeah, it's an emotional roller coaster when I play a game.
I can see that. You are a goalkeeper after all.
That's right, yeah.
Playing Argentina in the Maracanã at a World Cup, was that your best moment in football?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, I've been very lucky to have a good career so far and some amazing moments, but I think that was the #1 moment. You couldn't have scripted that moment any better. You know, it's a moment that I'll never forget. You know, not only getting to a major tournament, having it in Brazil, which is the home of football in a way, you can say that. It's such an iconic stadium, the first ever game since it was renovated, you know, to play in the World Cup, and the opening game against Argentina, against the powerhouse in our sport, was incredible. And yeah, I was lucky to have my whole family there and everyone, so I'll never forget that moment.
Before all of this, you had to come here and have a trial for Portsmouth, 03, I believe.
That's right.
So you're in Canada and you fly over. Did your dad come with you? Were you on your own?
No, I was all on my own. Yeah,
wow.
All on my own. My dad, agent, nobody came. They just chucked me on a flight, and There you go. I was supposed to spend a month here in the UK. I had 2 weeks booked at Portsmouth and 2 weeks booked at Tottenham. Yeah, I was excited. You know, that's what I dreamt for many years. And you know, literally within a couple of days, everything worked out incredibly well at Portsmouth. I played a game and a trial game, and I was literally after that game, I was pulled into a changing room by the academy director and the academy coach, and said, "Listen, we'd like to offer you a contract, but there's one condition: you can't go to Tottenham." Because funny enough, when I came, I knew I was 2 weeks at Portsmouth, 2 weeks at Tottenham, but I didn't know exactly the dates. And I'm a bit of a control freak, so I need to know my times. So I was saying to the academy director, pick me up from the airport, which was now David Hurst, and I still speak to him now. He's been an incredible gentleman. And I said to him, "Dave, when am I going to Tottenham? What day is it?" You know, he said, "What do you mean you're going to Tottenham?" Well, I said, I'm 2 weeks here and 2 weeks there, so I just kind of wanted to check, so I got my days right. I was like, "Oh, I didn't know anything about that. Let me get back to you on that." And it's like, "Oh, sorry about that." So I shouldn't have asked that question. And like I said, funny enough, worked out in a couple of days. I said, "You know what? We'll give you a contract, but you can't go anywhere else." And I was like, "Fair enough." I was happy to be there, and worked out really well.
Did you ever meet the guy who I think is called John, Portsmouth Football Club? Did you meet him before?
Yeah, the bell. Yeah. I've met him just briefly at a couple of games.
Yeah.
Incredible, man. It's the journeys he makes to go to every game and the effort, incredible. But to be honest, that town is incredible. They love their football, they love their team, and it was a great time in my career.
You're eyeing something.
I am eyeing something. Yeah, this looks. Did you order this? Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No.
Looks great.
Thank you. This is a classic one, huh?
Mushy peas as well.
Hey, mushy pea. I like mushy peas.
Gianluigi Buffon once said on Goalkeepers, you score goals as a kid, then you grow up stupid and become a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I can see his point. I think many goalkeepers are converted. You know, many guys start off at the beginning of their football career and said, "I want to be a defender," even. So they go and try and have the glory, and then later on they realize, okay, maybe I'll do something else because I'm maybe not good enough to be in that position. But like I said, for myself, it was never any doubt in my mind. I wanted to be a goalkeeper. Never played outfield.
Thank you.
Never had the interest of playing outfield, and that's all I wanted to be, and that's how it's worked out. Thankfully.
Ketchup?
Yeah, I'll have some ketchup in a minute.
I always hear goalkeepers say we think differently about the game.
That's right.
But how do you think differently about the game?
Well, listen, we are a different breed. We have to take responsibility of the whole game, the whole team, and what's in front of us. And you know, nobody else on the pitch lives by the pressure that we do. You know, one mistake and it's in the goal, whereas most other players can make a mistake and have a chance to get away with it. So we have a different pressure. We have to look at the game differently. You know, our game, especially maybe on a game day, sometimes isn't the most physical output, or during the week it is more physical than the outfield players. But on a game day we are so mentally, you know, challenged, and have to be so mentally switched on that it's a completely different preparation for a game than an outfield player.
So we've been here a while now, and all I'm seeing is people eating.
Yeah, mushy peas are pretty good too.
Yeah? What's your best David James story that you can tell for the camera?
He has a cup of tea. He used to have a cup of tea at halftime.
Okay.
Waiting for him in the dressing room, so
nice.
Everyone else was, you know, using like the electrolytes and sports drinks, and he was having a cup of tea. So that was quite funny. I was summing him up. But yeah, just to be honest, the kind of physical freak of nature that he was.
He could throw it so far.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. We used to in the warm up, like practice. You know, when he used to throw out to the goalkeeper, go to practice, like he's into American football, so he was like throwing, and he's like, "Oh, touchdown," and the wide receiver, and so we're having a bit of banter.
Past the halfway line.
Yeah, and he used to like kick the ball as he was punting it, so to have a bit of fun. He's a Seahawks fan.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a Seahawks fan. Yeah, the Legion of Boom. So when we as the Patriots won the Super Bowl a couple years back, that was definitely mentioned to David James.
So you're a member of the Patriots now.
That's right, Pats Nation, baby.
You're a Patriots fan. You're a Yankees fan.
That's right.
I mean, are you a Man United fan?
No. But I also have Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, that brings it down a little bit. Those seagulls just came pretty close to our plate. The fish has got to be eaten before they come.
Yeah, better hurry up.
What about an example of a conversation that you would have with a striker, especially if one of you is having a particularly good day?
Strikers and the players, when you're doing a shooting drill and they score a few goals, and then they give it like, "Oh, is anyone in goal?" Blah, blah. And then when they don't score, then we always tease them. You know, you want to come a little bit closer, you want to make it a little bit easier. So there's always a bit of trash talk going on. I'm not a huge trash talker, but I give out a bit of banter when it needs to be done.
To be honest, I would say your best moment in football was the goal.
Yeah.
I know you've won a Premier League title,
Yeah.
you've made crazy saves, but
Yeah.
you scored a goal after 13 seconds for Stoke, 91.9 metres apparently. That's how far it went. And I know you've been modest to protect Arthur Boric, who was your opposite number there, but how did you feel inside your head when the ball went into the net?
I didn't really know what to do. What do you do? Like, you score after such a short space of time, and you go running around the pitch. You always, I think when you think about scoring as a goalkeeper, you always like visualize it being a last-minute equalizer or something, and then going crazy with the whole stadium. But obviously now you look back, and even at the time, it's a cool moment. Of course it is. To have been only one of 5 goalkeepers to do it, and be in the Guinness Book of World Records. So yeah, it was a cool moment. Yeah.
What did people say to you at half time? Did you get any feedback?
Yeah, no.
Have you looked to score since?
Yeah, no. Obviously the fans kind of give it the whole shoot vibe when the shout when there's a bit of wind.
Talking of later on in your career, why did you move to Chelsea?
Yeah, it was simple really, because I was 28 at the time. I spent 5.5 years at Stoke. I played a lot of games and won Player of the Year. I played Europa League, and got to a stage where I felt like I was ready for a challenge. I felt like I was ready to test myself again and re-energize myself. And I was lucky that I had a couple of options, and to go toe-to-toe with one of the best goalkeepers in the world, Thibaut Courtois, was tough, and that was part of the challenge, part of the appeal for me. I wanted to test myself against the best, be in one of the world-class environments and on a daily basis, get better. And when Jose Mourinho calls you up and asks you to be part of his team.
I'm always fascinated by these phone calls. So did you have Mourinho's number? Did his name pop up, or was it just a number? And then does he ever explain how he got your number? Something I'd want to ask personally.
No,
Jose, how did you get my number?
I didn't ask too many questions, I have to say. No, it was just an unknown number. It must have been maybe a phone office line or something.
A phone booth.
And
what did he say to you?
No, he just said that he could potentially be looking for a new goalkeeper this summer. I think obviously there was maybe an idea Petr Cech was going to leave the club, and if that's the case, then obviously he would like me to join and hopefully make it happen. And things changed very quickly from there. And once Petr Cech obviously left, and that became a reality, then for me that was only one choice and one club I wanted to go to.
You just said it was the ultimate challenge to compete with Courtois. You won the Premier League. What does it feel like at the top?
Yeah, do you know what? It was great. 2 amazing years, ups and downs. That first year was incredibly difficult. A lot of turbulence, and we didn't achieve probably what we wanted to achieve, and that was tough. So that second year I was there, it was a lot of wanting to put things right and put the club where it belonged again, and we were able to do that. I had 2 amazing years, with 30 appearances and Champions League and cups and different pressures, and some good experience. Obviously winning the title capped it off, and that's exactly one of the reasons I wanted to come there, to be part of a successful team and lift a trophy and see what that's all about. And I was very grateful for that.
Before we get to the speed round, there is a speed round.
Okay, speed round, that sounds a bit scary.
We started with Bournemouth, we'll end with Bournemouth. You said about Stoke and when you left that you didn't know what else you could achieve. What can Bournemouth achieve besides finishing top 10? What is your ultimate goal with that club?
Well, I think that's the beauty of being here. This club has so much potential. One of the reasons that really took me to come here is the project of yes, establishing this club in the league for many years to come. Top 10. Why couldn't we win a trophy? Why can't we win a cup? I mean, that would be amazing for this club to win a major trophy and play European football and challenge for that eventually. I think now with the resources and that you have, it's a possibility for everyone. I think the opportunities are endless, and something for us that we can really sink our teeth into and push this club in a new direction.
Okay, speed time before we go for a run on the beach.
Okay, work our fish and chips off, yeah?
Exactly. As fast as you want, sir. Do you play fantasy football?
Yes.
Who is your goalkeeper?
Nick Pope.
Why?
Good value for money.
Would you pick yourself?
No.
If you could choose one striker to never face again, who would it be?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
When you Netflix and chill with your wife, what is your chosen programme?
Suits.
The best goal ever scored against you?
Nani, Portugal away, a World Cup qualifying playoff. A World Cup of Euros qualifier. Just absolute smash, top bins.
What's your pre-game meal?
Spaghetti bolognese.
When are you happiest?
When I'm at home with my family.
Good answer. The wife will like that. Yeah. If you could meet one American sports athlete, who would it be?
Just one, yeah. Tom Brady.
I knew it. I knew it was going to be number 12. Who should be England's number 1 in Russia?
Oh, just put him in the spot. I really don't know.
Nick Pope? You just said he was in your fantasy?
Yeah, Nick Pope is. He's got a good of a chance as anyone. I don't know. I think a lot can happen still in 2 or 3 months before the World Cup. You know, we'll see if anything happens injury-wise or anything. And
you're on the fence there.
Yeah, I am. Literally on the fence.
Give me a name. Okay, to try and get a name out of you then, of the retired goalkeepers all time, who do you think's the greatest?
In the world?
Yeah.
Oliver Kahn.
Good answer. How old will you be when you retire?
Hopefully my 40s.
You want to go to 45 like Mr. Brady?
Why not?
Yeah?
Yeah, if he can do it, why couldn't I?
Who would win in a fight? And this is the important question. Yourself or Oliver Kahn?
Myself.
What would you use to bring him down?
My big boot.
And a quick review of the fish and chips while we're at it.
Very good, very good. Thanks for having me here.
No, thank you.
Good choice on the fish and chips and the restaurant and the setting, so it couldn't be any better.
Good to see you.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
For sure, man. Hey, I have a size 14 foot, man.
He's gonna kick him in the
head.
Undertaker.
Undertaker. When he comes running at me, this is my big boot. Undertaker style.
I was gonna say he's huge. I'd be scared of him.
Then I'd choke slam him.